Alright guys, so let's carry on with what we need to talk today. Okay, so we need to go for the database related topic of Google Cloud, which is again kind of if you're a DBA, yes, it's beneficial to you. Otherwise, it's kind of introduction, and not a lot of labs there for databases. So, and then we're gonna hopefully start today the Oracle Cloud creating account, introduction, documentation. So let's go ahead and. On Google Cloud Platform, there is, if we go further down to the database area here, this is the databases. So in the databases, I'm going to go for big table and okay, kids. So here, first of all, there are actually a few features here for the database section. These are big table, data store, database migration, Firestore, memory store, and spanner and SQL. So basically, that's the first one is big table. If I click that, so what it is. Cloud Bigtable is a fully managed wide column NoSQL database that offers low latency and replication for high availability. So we've talked about SQL and NoSQL in AWS, then SQL and NoSQL in Azure, then now the same thing here, SQL and NoSQL in Google Cloud, and obviously in Oracle Cloud, SQL and NoSQL, right? So the four main sections that we are talking about are compute, storage, networking, and database. Then also comes the users and groups. So Cloud Bigtable is a fully managed wide column. So this is NoSQL database that offers low latency and replication for high availability. To use Cloud Bigtable, create an instance and then set up your development environment. Again, goes to the DBAs, their development environment, to access Cloud Bigtable so that you can add data and monitor performance. So, well, it's a you can just I'm just click that, learn more here, and so Cloud Bigtable is Google's NoSQL Big Data database service. It's the same database that powers many core Google services, including search, analytics, maps, and Gmail. So not sure what database option is right for you. Learn more about that, guides, references. So it goes ahead and so the main thing here to understand is the SQL, NoSQL, first of all, and when it comes to SQL, NoSQL discussion, a fully managed scalable NoSQL database. So basically, we have discussed that before, so I'm just going to just talk about that again. But because we have lots of options for NoSQL related databases. So SQL would be structured query language, and that is it is also called a relational database, and NoSQL would be not a relational database. So this is relational DB, and here obviously you have then one instance here. Inside the instance you have so this is the VM, and then you have the DB here, and then the DB is just inside the database you have rows and columns, right? So rows and columns, column 1, column 2, column 3, right? So those are those are inside the table. So you have a VM, then you have database, then inside the database you have tables, and inside tables you have rows and columns. So if you have some information in one table, suppose this is the employee information in table 1, then you have another information about the products of the company, or employees benefits. So this is just the employee joining and name, and then this is the benefits. So that's another table, and then the third table and the fourth table. So they are all related, right? Relational database has all tables related. So when you run a query on an employee called John, so but you want not only John's name and address, suppose, or email address, you also want the benefits information about John as well. So one query will go to this table 1 to get John's name. The same query will try to go to the other table because they are related, they are connected. So the information will be retrieved from the other table as well, or maybe 3 or 4 tables, or 20 or 30 tables. So it's all related to each other. It is structured query language, or it's structured database. It normally requires a DBA, a database administrator. There's more administrative overhead there. So administration is always there. Administration. So minis, right? Okay, tray and shun. So a regular DBA is supposed to be there to manage, or if DBA is also cloud specialist plus DBA, so that, but it's a kind of full-time job to handle all the databases, relational databases there, right? And so that's it's then a bit more expensive as well, and big companies, it goes for corporates, right? So big corporates, big companies that go for this, and it's expensive as well. So when it comes to NoSQL, so NoSQL would be that you don't have a lot of tables first of all. So NoSQL, right? So it's the most in most cases it's just one big table there. Even the name of this one is big table. So it's one big table that keeps growing, right? So you have rows and columns here as well, and it doesn't have a huge amount of tables there. You can have 2 or more even tables created there. But the way it works is that it can take a lot of data within the rows and wide columns, we can say a lot of data there as well, and data can be retrieved fast. So it's mostly used with web apps and games, suppose, and IoT devices. So wherever you have and web, and then cell phone, so wherever you have suppose an application that has at once gone viral, and there are thousands of users, and then later there are millions of users there. So you want a database that should be light, but as well as no administrative complications there, overhead there, plus it could scale fast, and not a lot of, not like a separate professional DBA is required to handle it. It's just on the cloud, and you're connecting your application. You should be a developer, or you should hire a developer to connect your application to this NoSQL databases, and then it scales faster, and it's less administrative overhead, and less expensive comparably to this other one. Although once you have millions of users, obviously it's going to be expensive as well, but we're comparing with this. So you will use it for all the web apps and cell phone apps and internet of things, or IoT devices there, and apps, machine learning devices. So there it's more famously used, and Google's wide range of services are using NoSQL as well as where they need really large, huge SQL databases. Then in the back end, they're using those as well. So this is overall SQL and NoSQL database. Okay, so okay, yeah, I used to not do that, then something happened in my computer and now I have to take a print screen again and then only type this section. It takes the screenshot of both my screens. Again, it's doing that. So highly scalable, and so that's SQL, NoSQL. Now Cloud Bigtable, and then there is another service that is called Firestore and Datastore. Those are also NoSQL services that Google Cloud has created. So if I go back there, and this is Cloud Bigtable they're talking about, and here they just say that go for an instance, and obviously it's gonna have a dead end for us because we're not developers or we don't have any app to connect to this. So what I can do is just click the create instance, and then go for your first name, instance ID, and then I'll click continue. What kind of hard disk you need, HDD or SSD? Okay, HDD, and at $468 per month, they're gonna create that NoSQL database inside the instance that you can connect at the back end to any web application or cell phone application or IoT devices. So if I click show advanced options, so add replication here as well. You want to have its copy created across the region somewhere else or across the zone somewhere else, you can do that. And then there's region that I haven't chosen yet, South Carolina, any zone, or 1B, and 1 node, 2 node, 3 nodes, how many instances of the SQL you want. You can just create that and then add replication, even add cluster there. So cluster is just always there for high availability. One instance or one node goes down, then it can just fail over to the other instance, right? So you want to go more complicated, you can go more complicated, but this is the backend infrastructure that you can create. In front you must have some kind of app to really do some coding and connect that app to this database in the background, which is NoSQL database. So I'm going to click create here. So the instance gets created, and if I go inside the instance, then then there's monitoring, key visualizer, and tables and backups and application profiles. There's that tables here, and basically you can just try to then create tables, although they did not give anywhere to create a table. If we go for key visualizer or instance details, so okay, on the monitoring it does say there's instance created there, and there is tables, but that's just the monitoring section. I'm just going to go again to the big table here, and this is the overall what we can see here, and you can select that and add member as a permission, right? So overall it's again, if you have some kind of application to connect, then you can go ahead and do that. There's application profile here that you can add. There's zones that you can add here. So there's a separate add written here as well. But so that is instances that I created, and if I just click that big table, so that's the main page that it keeps on coming. If I just come back here from outside, obviously that should be the page, but this is kind of it. So what we can do is just discuss that what is Bigtable, and it's in the instance that is created. So if I just go inside the instance itself, which I can't, so it is oh, there's an edit button here, but that's just the edit, right? So this means that we have to just go for the application profiles and then check that what application are you really connecting it to, right? So an application profile defines how your instance handles incoming requests. Create a different profile for each use case, such as click, ingestion, or BigQuery federation. So you want to create multiple instances. Suppose there's a very big application that you want to connect to this, so obviously you will go for uh, 5, 10, 20 instances there that can take that application's data inside. So that would be then create application profile. If I click that, so then it asks about how your application will work. Will it be on one cluster or the second cluster? And well, we create just one instance. You could have created 20 instances and made a cluster out of that. But again, what application you're putting there, you have to have its uh, developer really doing these tasks. I'm gonna cancel out from here. So this is just a big table that gets us. So now you should have, you create an instance. This instance is specialized in hosting the application's big table or NoSQL database inside this instance. So you have to then get the application to really use this. So overall, this is the same case for the next one. All the NoSQL ones, we can just check the interface and check some features. Other than that, if it was a developer course, obviously we would have gone for some more development side. Okay, so other than big table, there's the data store here, and that data store is also now if you're gonna try that, so it will ask that enable API there. I did that. It takes a long time as well, a bit longer time to enable the API or application program interface, or just to interact from the browser to this data store. So if I go, I'm in the data store, right? If I just go back here to the navigation menu and go down to Firestore. So data store is a NoSQL database service, which is older one, and this data store's newer NoSQL database service is Firestore. So if I click that Firestore as well, just to show, because I wanted to show you at the start, it does ask two types of questions. It does not, because I already created all that just to test that does it even work like in my subscription. So I'm just going to go back to data store here, and I'll select this entities and data store east 1. Oh, so I selected that and I wanted to actually delete it. Okay, let me just close that, and there's a delete button here. Confirm. Okay, in the project normally it does ask for two options there that are I can just quickly create a new project and then go ahead and I'll just click the create button, new project, and then go for that data store, and then it will show you the two options. So what are those two options while it is getting created? In fact, it's created now, so I'll go 4, 5, 7 here, and 4, 5, 7, right? And then I'll go ahead and yeah, that's what it's showing here is data store. When we come here, so it asks for two things. So first of all, it is Cloud Data Store. Firestore is the next generation of Cloud Data Store. So this is the older version of NoSQL database. You can use Cloud Firestore in either native mode or data store mode, each with distinct system behavior optimized for different types of projects. Pricing for both modes is based on location, stored data, operations, and network egress, with a daily free quota for each, right? So native mode and data store mode. There are two modes there. Enable all of Cloud Firestore's features with offline support and real-time synchronization. That's called native mode. And then data store mode is that you can just leverage Cloud Data Store system behavior on top of Cloud Firestore's powerful storage layer. Basically, that if I go for learn more about choosing, so it does give a little more detail. Firestore in native mode is the next major version of data store and a rebranding of the product. taking the best of Datastore and the Firebase real-time database. Firestore is a NoSQL document database built for automatic scaling, high performance, and ease of application development. So when we say NoSQL document database, a document-oriented database or document store is a computer program and data storage system designed for storing, retrieving, and managing document-oriented information, also known as semi-structured data. Document-oriented databases are one of the main categories of NoSQL. So what is NoSQL document database? So NoSQL document databases are based on a model that does not require SQL and tables, unlike relational databases. Instead of using tables with the data types, columns, rows, schemas, and tabular relations used in a relational database, NoSQL databases use documents with data type descriptions and values. So it just stores it as a document with descriptions and values instead of storing it as a table. So that would be the document database. So NoSQL document database. That's the small description of that. Obviously, if you're a DBA, that would be your field, or you would go more in depth with that. Otherwise, it kind of goes down to. Okay, so if we go ahead, so here, yeah, so this is when you click the data store, it just goes for native mode or data store mode, and then it asks you to just create a table and start entering values there, right? So if you go to data store, it asks exactly that you want to go for native mode or data store mode. If you go to again, I'm going to go for database section here and Firestore. So we were here data store, and there's a Firestore here as well. If I click the Firestore, so it takes to the Firestore section, but it starts exactly the same way the data store starts. So obviously, for backward compatibility, they have created the data store there, and but they have the newer version, which is the Firestore, and both are NoSQL databases, right? So if I go to data store and whatever I choose, it's going to be permanent and native. So it depends on the database admin what really is required here. You want to use this or this. All the details are there for database administrators. So if I go for select native mode, you selected Cloud Firestore in native mode. Now choose the database location. It goes for location. So this is just a basic tutorial for going ahead, but if I click the create database, so obviously since we don't have an app with a developer to really connect it to that, so this is as far as we go, that we create a NoSQL database. We just need to know it's a document database and it does not store information as tables, columns, and rows. It stores information as documents, descriptions, and values. So its way of storing information is different. Obviously, you must have done that database NoSQL database course separately to know how it really works from inside and in depth. So otherwise, outside as a system administration or cloud admin, cloud infrastructure admin, if you go there, so this is as far as you go. You create that and you let the developers connect to it, and they do their work after this. So your database is ready to go. Just add data. So there's a start collection written here after that, and collection ID. So a collection is set of one or more documents that contain data. Start a collection at this path by adding its first document. So it just says that, hey, where's the document and how do you want to add the field. So this is all going down to how document database, NoSQL document database administrator would start entering data there. Okay, so I'll just cancel out from here, and if I go back here, then we talked about data store. Then there is database migration. So obviously it's going to ask for enable API on the project level, and it takes forever then to enable the API. But you want to migrate your databases on premises to cloud or from cloud to cloud, then this is the case. So manage cloud database migration service resources on Google Cloud Platform, enable. So manage cloud database migration service resources on the Google Cloud. This is just obviously the migration service, and it's created. You can now migrate PostgreSQL databases, or there's that free open license databases. Migration jobs allow you to move data between source and destination databases. You can define your source by creating a new job or just its connection profile. So these are the jobs and area, and you can just define that create migration job. There is that. If I click the create migration job, so then it starts asking migration job name, job ID, source database engine, which one is that? So it's Cloud SQL for MySQL, Amazon RDS for MySQL, and Amazon RDS for PostgreSQL, Cloud SQL for PostgreSQL. So many are coming soon, and some are there already. So you can just migrate from any of those Amazon ones or others. And before you continue to review the prerequisites, so yep, you want to migrate some databases. So this is the type of wizard that you will see. And if you have all the credentials and connectivity from any AWS-based SQL database, then you can go ahead. So databases, as far as they are concerned, so this is as far as the cloud infrastructure admin go, cloud CSP admin, we can say cloud services provider admin, unless you are a DB as well, you go in depth with that. So job creation, job migration, you have a source one from Amazon or Cloud SQL, you can migrate that database to here as well. And if we go ahead with the Firestore, that's the same thing here. Firestore and Datastore. Firestore is the next version of the Datastore. If I go there, it's pretty much the same thing. In fact, exactly the same interface we're seeing, that we have created the Datastore with native Datastore as the option. And then when we click the Start Collection, so if you are a NoSQL DBA, then you would start collecting data from some kind of document there. Okay, well, it's NoSQL, and NoSQL is you want to just. Oh, okay. So there is 653, 54. This now. So no MS SQL. So what you're saying, Chintan, is that does Microsoft have a NoSQL as well? Yeah, Microsoft has a NoSQL, and it's in Azure, and but it's obviously it's not MongoDB. MongoDB is in AWS. I am just forgetting the name. It was something Ongo as well. So if I go ahead and put it there, Azure NoSQL. Microsoft has NoSQL. What is NoSQL? Oh, no. Okay, work with.
What I'm saying, right, in the
Yeah, you're saying?
database migration. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so in database migration, I didn't see like MS SQL.
Oh, yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is the question. So there is no MS SQL.
Yeah, only those two, AWS and Cloud SQL. So, and even in the list which is coming soon, there is no Microsoft based. So yes, Google is the arch rival of Microsoft. So in collaboration category as well as database category. So yeah, for now, none of those. But I think it should be there. Because we have to either talk to the support. But this is the main database section, and if it's not here, then either it's upcoming or they may arrange some expert to manually do that. But others have it already. Cool. So database migration with yes. So it's not there, and it's not even incoming soon. So definitely, Google Cloud still have to do a lot of stuff there. I think Microsoft database section has that. The migration section has from Google to this, but that's why it's the third best, because it doesn't have. It's third because it doesn't have a lot of services still. But maybe in 6 months to 1 year, we will see a lot of improvements there if I do another 4-in-1 adventure. So okay, well, for now it is Firestore, and it's the same thing. If you're a DBA expert, NoSQL document database expert, then go ahead and start putting in data. But that's how far we can configure it as a cloud service provider admin. So then there is a memory store here, and memory store is there's Redis and Memcache. These are exactly, even surprisingly, same names that AWS also has. This Google Cloud is an exact copy of, not exact copy, but a lot of stuff is exactly the same, like in AWS. So storage has bucket, that is terminology, and VPC terminology. I think AWS is just partnering up with Google Cloud against Microsoft. So, well, memory store, Redis, and Memcache. What's the purpose of this service? So that is for speedy data, um, retrieval. And so I'm just going to click enable that. So it's, again, you have to interact with the service. You have to enable API here. Creates and manages Redis instances on the Google Cloud platform. Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful through products and platforms like Search, Maps, Gmail, Android, Google Play. Chrome, YouTube, Play, and Google plays a meaningful role in the daily lives of, okay, about Google. Seriously, why am I reading that? Okay, but Redis and Mem are memory store. Basically, what they are the if you want to access the data instead of the drive, you want to access from the memory directly. It's always fast retrieval, so that's where the memory store comes. So memory store for Redis is a fully managed Redis service for the Google Cloud. Applications running on Google Cloud can achieve extreme performance by leveraging the highly scalable, available, secure Redis service without the burden of managing complex Redis deployments. The main thing here is the extreme performance. So you want to retrieve data real fast from the database. So instead of putting that data or frequently accessed data in the hard disk or the storage, you can put that frequently accessed data in the memory of the instances. And from the memory, you can always retrieve really fast the data. It's exactly the same concept. Even the terminology is same as in AWS, that if you put the data on memory, it's retrieved much faster, especially that is which is frequently accessed. And if you put it on hard disk, it's going to be comparatively slower. Even SSD cannot match the retrieval speed that the memory can give. So that's why memory store is there. And on Boxing Day, when there are thousands of people connected and trying to do shopping and retrieve a lot of data from the databases of, suppose, bestbuy.com or Canada Computers, so their databases should be set up, their website should be set up with memory store services on any of the three cloud platforms, mainstream cloud platforms: AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, right? So extreme performance by leveraging the highly scalable, available, and secure Redis. So the main thing here, again and again, is if I click that learn more here. So memory store for Redis provides a fully managed service that is powered by the Redis in-memory data stored to build application caches. So cache is, what is cache? So any frequently accessed data is saved to be retrieved again and again and faster. So that's where that provides sub-millisecond data access. So that's the main purpose of Redis, and it's the sub-millisecond data access or extremely fast data access. Caching, gaming, it is good for. Caching is good for. Stream processing, it is good for, right? So you're done streaming, and yes, high availability and disaster recovery, all those features are available with this one as well. If I go back to this, so I think the API, oh wow, it's still enabling the API, but the main thing is you want, oh okay. So once you do create, when you go to the memory store and it's ready, so this is how it's looked like. And there's Redis and there's Memcache. If I click the create instance, so Cloud Memory Store for Redis is a fully managed Redis service for the Google Cloud platform. Name your instance. So instance ID, suppose test1, and display name test1, and tier determines availability, cost, and performance. Lower cost does not provide high availability. Standard includes a failover replica in a separate zone for high availability. So it is about huge data being accessed fast. That's the main thing, main concept about this whole configuration. So it is just configuring the whole instance, and again it's asking, hey, how much capacity you want. Do you really want multiple instances? So if you have a big database that needs to be accessed by millions of people, then you would come here and configure number of instances there, so the data could be accessed really fast from the databases. Enable auth and enable transport layer security. TLS encrypts connections between clients and the server, impacts performance, and connection limits can be changed later. Okay. So the thing is that you want to put security there, you want to put extra configuration there for Redis configuration parameters. If I click that add configuration, so active defrag, because of a huge amount of data there, so you want to really make sure that you're defragging the data. And again, a DBA would decide all this, that what needs, what kind of application they have in the company, and what kind of database in the background or memory store in the background they really need. So, okay. I say, sorry, I have urgent to go outside and come back, and we break for 15 minutes. Now? Well, you're interested in database topic? Oh, I mean, like, yes, it is very interesting, and we just started. So, uh, so break. Well, break is normally at 8. So yeah, okay, we can have a break. Okay, Mohan says not now. So yeah, guys, then we can go for voting here. Oh, okay, that's okay. So here, no worries. Oh, okay, thank you. And we're gonna go for, so setup connection and then authorize VPC network, advanced network options. A private service connection is now required for custom ranges. So pretty much it's the instance that's going to, whose memory will be used to put frequently accessed data to its memory, so it could be used to retrieve it fast. That should be retrieved fast. So for that, they create instances there, and then obviously the charges are big. Well, right now it's just 35 US dollar per. Okay, it's 1 GB is 0.05 cents per GB per hour. Okay. So Redis, it creates an instance. If I go for Memcache, basically both Redis is for large scale, big cluster you want to create there, and Memcache is used for creating and managing Memcached instances in GCP. So here, when we go to the documentation, so memory store, when I click the Memcache, it takes us to this, and reduce latency with scalable, secure, and highly available in-memory service for Redis and Memcached. So it comes back to this, which is what we have talked again. It's a heaven for database administrators, and this is something that we can just discuss right now. Focus on building great apps, scale as needed, highly available, and key features: choice of engines, and Redis and Memcached, security fully managed. So main thing is speed, Obviously, for all the databases, we can just discuss the features there, and I'm just talking about that feature again and again for Redis and Memcache, which is the same for AWS as well. These are not the exact names in Azure, but Azure does provide that database as well. In fact, I did the search and it was yes, Cosmos DB. In Azure is the NoSQL database, and that also provides then this memory related or fast retrieval data services or solutions. So if we go ahead to Spanner, so Spanner and SQL. Now these are the actual SQL databases, right? And or the relational databases, right? Relational database. So if I go to Spanner, Spanner. So Cloud Spanner is a managed, mission critical, globally consistent, and scalable relational database. So that's the relational database, and I'm going to click that enable here. While it is enabling, I'll go for tutorials and documentation. So fully managed relational database with unlimited scale, strong consistency, and up to 99.999% availability. Now Spanner is Google Cloud's own you know paid database that it has created, but you can use the Microsoft SQL Server as well, and Oracle SQL Server as well. But just like AWS in the database category, they came up with their own database as well, Aurora, right? Aurora, yeah. Aurora is the database that AWS themselves created. It's their own brand. So just like that, Spanner, they have created a, hey, you want a database. It's not the database, but it's a database with all the enterprise features there. But it's just, we created that, we came up with that. So you can go for that, or you want to go still for Microsoft SQL. Yes, that you can do as well. So that's their own offering of the database, and I'll check that if the API is done. Okay, and Cloud Spanner is a fully managed relational database service that offers transactional consistency and high availability at global scale. To use Cloud Spanner, create a Cloud Spanner instance within your project, then set up your development environment to access Cloud Spanner so that you can add data. So if I click the create instance, it's this exact same thing again. So test 1, 2, 3, and regional configuration, select a configuration, and South Carolina, US East 1. How many nodes you need? 1, and node guidance there. For optimal performance of this configuration, we recommend provisioning enough nodes to keep high priority CPU utilization under 65%. So yeah, if you have multiple nodes, the data can be divided or round robined into multiple nodes. So their CPU will not be then really busy. I'm just going to click create here. So once the instance is created, then it has that overview, monitoring, import, export, backup, and restore. And then there's a create database. If you go for database as well, so your first name, DB, suppose, and I'll click continue here. So define your database schema, add tables and indexes to define your initial schema. You can add these anytime, but it's fastest to add them during database creation. So it's about to create a database, but it's saying, hey, you want to create some tables as well. If you click that learn more here, then it tells you that what are the commands that you can give here for creating database. There's a create database and database ID. Alter database is this, that if once you create that, you can alter the database as well. And create table, you want to create a table, so you can just put that information there as well, and it keeps on giving you more and more information on that. So there is that reserved keywords. Some keywords like type names are reserved in Cloud Spanner's DDL, which is just the way you write the syntax. So create table, my table, and row ID is this, integers 64, not null. You can add more information, private key, row ID. So you can just create that table. So suppose I take this as a table, it may or may not really work. So I'm just telling that, hey, create a table called my table, right? And I put it like this here. So if I click create, and you can just give a lot of instructions. Hey, create 20 tables or 30 tables for me, and that many rows and that many integers should it have in their its rows and columns, right? So well, that was fast as well. So there's my table, and then how many rows, and then you can just go for query, create an index, delete table. So then you can start building up your tables there. But this is an offering by Google Cloud. They came up with that their own. Suppose you want a cheaper option and not Microsoft standard or enterprise SQL Server license that is much more expensive than the Google's own offering of database. It's not that famous, but it's just a cheaper alternative to the mainstream databases like Oracle and Microsoft. So then this is how it goes. If we go to the SQL type there, SQL, so that's where it offers you that, hey, you want to create open source databases, the free ones, MySQL. Cloud SQL instances are fully managed relational MySQL, PostgreSQL, and SQL Server databases. Google handles replication, patch management, and database management to ensure availability and performance. So to get started with Cloud SQL, you can create a new instance or use Cloud SQL to migrate your SQL database to Google Cloud, right? So, well, I'm going to click the create instance, and then it says you want to create a open source MySQL or PostgreSQL, which is also open source, or you want to go for actual SQL Server 2017. Choose SQL Server. So suppose we go for that. So this is SQL Server 2017. It is still not mentioning its arch rival's name, Microsoft. It did not say MS anywhere, right? And it's Microsoft SQL 2017. I mean, like, well, Microsoft has SQL Server 2017, but if it is not Microsoft's, then they would just go for SQL Server 2017. If it is not, so tries instance ID. I'll go for my name dash instance dash db, and password. Okay, so the username is SQL Server, and the password, whatever password, small ship123 dot ship123, but the username is this SQL Server. And location for better performance, keep your data, yeah, okay, South Carolina, okay, and any zone or maybe a fixed zone, up to you. Machine type and storage, so where you want to store it. Right now they have given it SSD, 1 core, 4 GB RAM. Connectivity, public IP is enabled already, and public IP is enabled. Public IP connectivity requires additional private IP. Okay, that's just fine. So public IP, yeah, you have not authorized any external networks to connect to your Cloud SQL instance. External applications can still connect to the instance through this Cloud SQL proxy. Well, we don't have any proxy. We just have public IP given from the from our DSL. Authorized networks, so authorize a network or use a proxy to connect to your instance. Networks will only be authorized via these addresses. So, well, the public IP is there, and if I click that add network here, so suppose it's Tor branch, and suppose, well, that could be your IP as well. But your current public IP, if I connect here, and what is my IP? So now currently it is this, and I'll go ahead and agree and 8. Does it accept that? Oh, yeah. So we're accepting traffic from that. So other than that, backup, recovery, high availability, flags and parameters, maintenance, labels. So you want to go for more, then you can do that. Otherwise, it's just the name, the region, connectivity, public IP already there. So, and authorization I gave to my public IP. I don't click create here. So now it is just creating the database here. And while it is getting, so it shows you the instance address as well, but once it is fully created, then it's going to show you the public IP of that instance here. It will start showing up that too. And well, for that we should have in our laptops SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio, and I have that there already. Or you can just type in Google download SSMS, and then it will, whatever version of SSMS is there, you will be able to download. So there's version 18 of SSMS also available. So well, obviously once the database is created there, then we can connect from our laptop based SQL Server Management Studio client. So yeah, it's still in the process of being created. Let's check it out. नई पढ़ाई से चालू करते आप पढ़ना चाहते हैं इंग्लिश से चालू okay, think you all heard that too. Okay, so oh man, really, I'm just waiting for this to come up. Oh yeah, so what I can do is I can click this copy here, and I'll click, you know, that address has to be put in the SSMS client, so I'll click paste here, and the username, obviously it's not created yet, but how to really connect to that is, well, this way. You need to just get the connection address there, and it's SQL Server tab, and the password that I gave up there when I was creating that. So I'm just making it ready, but once it gets, I think it, no, okay, still not getting, it's created now. Okay, so it's created, and this is the public IP, and this is the DNS name of that, and that's all the details are there. So which are there. So if I go back to this, so I'm already having this IP kinetic fire. So this is the name. I'll just check that again. Yes, it starts with kinetic fire. So I'll just try to connect that here. And well, it might give error, or it might just connect right away. not right away, but it might connect. If it takes a longer time, then there could be an issue, and we can check that. What is the issue? Well, there you go. Parameter is not correct. The network related instance specific error occurred while establishing connection to SQL Server. The server was not found or was not accessible. Verify that the instance name is correct and that SQL Server is configured to allow remote connections. So that is okay. If I go back here and there's a public IP here, while I need to still check that if I was able to, did I allow myself to be connected, which I did at that time. I go to all instances and there's that instance here. So again, in the overview, I'll click the edit button here. Oh, SQL Server user, that was the name. It was not. Okay, I have the screenshots and it was SQL Server only. Okay, SQL Server. I think I did put SQL Server. Yeah, it is SQL Server, and it's SQL Server authentication. Okay, that is selected here. Obviously, I will not go for Windows authentication. It says the SQL Server authentication, and SQL Server, and small MC, MC show 1 2 3, without show 1 2 3. That's one thing, and then other thing is the, let me use the IP instead of the DNS name now. I'll try to connect there. Alright, we're connected. So somehow the DNS name was giving an issue, and yes, it's a Microsoft SQL Server. So well, yeah, the rest of the SQL Server is the same as any Microsoft SQL Server would be, and it's the SQL Server 2017 version. And if I go to databases and I click the new database, so I can create a new database as well. Well, so Ali says, do we need to review gateways? So Ali, here for Google Cloud and Oracle Cloud, we're going for just compute and storage and network. In network, we are just going for VPC topics. Otherwise, each cloud is very big, and we have gone in depth with AWS and Azure. That's where we went for gateways. It's the same thing repeating again and again, so I'm covering only to the point our main topics there that are available, right? So DB1, okay, so it creates a database. So otherwise, every cloud topic is so big that then it's going to be taking forever to complete that. And yeah, I do this just turned off, offering 4 courses in one and then charging just half the price of one course only. So that said, whatever we are doing is already much more than, what is much more. I'll just put it that way. Okay. So guys, this is just a SQL Server, and obviously if you have gone through the SQL Server course, then you would know all these options. But yes, you can connect to a SQL Server database on GCP here as well. I'm just gonna close the SSMS, and well, that was a SQL Server instance. We did the same lab in Azure and AWS as well. That's the same lab, that's the same way to connect. Now if you're a DBA, then go ahead, start creating databases and tables again. When it comes to cloud service provider administrators, so this is it. You just create one and then let the developers and DBAs take over and start working on the databases. So this is as far as we go with the Google Cloud platform. We went for compute instance, the compute engine. We went for IAM compute engine, storage, networking, and then databases, right? So that's the same thing we're going to go for, same areas we're going to go for. Oracle Cloud. Now, Oracle Cloud, keep in mind that it's not really even near to the mainstream databases there. No, database. Did I say database? Mainstream cloud service providers. So AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Yes, these are famous. Oracle Cloud is getting there, so don't expect these standards there, because it's not very near to these three. And the third one also lacks a lot of services that AWS and Azure have. Google Cloud actually lacks many of the services for what we have gone through. So Oracle Cloud is even lesser than that. So no high hopes there for that. Oh, it's something totally cool and better than even AWS and Azure. It's not even near that word better. So okay guys, we this is how much we go for Google Cloud Platform. So we can delete the project and projects there. We spent actually when we created the G Suite, that was a lot of features that we covered there that I was not even planning to cover, but that was interesting. It came our way and we went for. Okay, Chintan says we're mostly used Oracle Cloud. Oracle Cloud is coming in the market. It's cheaper than all three, and it pretty much so suppose you have Oracle databases. Suppose a company has a lot of Oracle licenses already, so for them Oracle Cloud would be very very cheap for them to go to in order to go to cloud. And lots of companies have Oracle databases for ages, for last decades. So for them, Oracle Cloud option would be the best. There will be less learning curve there. Instead of changing all the Oracle databases to Microsoft SQL databases in order to go to Azure, so Oracle Cloud is easier for those which are Oracle shops. Otherwise, majority will go to. I got a current project, and that is just Office 365 and Azure, right? And the company is totally on Office 365 and Azure. So this is something that is more important in the market. Oracle Cloud is like, it's good to know kind of thing. It's not really. Yeah. So most, and Jen says, any expertise in cloud? What is ranking for VMware Cloud? Oh, so any expertise in cloud. So ranking of VMware Cloud would be less than even Oracle Cloud. I mean, like VMware Cloud is basically you download a software and then you install it on your own hardware. That is called vCloud, and it really sucks. In Hamburg College, I had to remove my VMware lab. For heavy workloads, it sucks, or it's the underlying hardware that sucks actually. So otherwise, VMware is dependent on AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud, mainly AWS and Azure. Any expertise in cloud? What does that mean? Like, yeah.
So like Google is popular for the DevOps, like
Oh,
mostly they are used
okay.
for it. So Oracle Cloud is used for the database, basically, like
It's a database company basically. Yeah.
yeah.
So but they would support their own databases, and they would make those tools available for use of their own databases. And if the companies are, so basically it's not a big advantage for any particular service other than that whichever companies were having Oracle products can move to cloud much cheaper way and without having a big learning curve there. They would just move to that because they're so used to.
But those are like fulfilled with the AWS and Azure too, right?
Yes,
Oracle Cloud.
exactly. Those can be easily fulfilled with AWS and Azure as well. So this is just a fourth player in the market that is still far behind, and I just added it here. So I could have added Office 365 instead of that, but that would be too valuable. So so the thing is that this is just another cloud that we can compare only. It's good for comparing. Otherwise, if you're a company's Oracle shop, yes, go for it. If not, then yeah, companies will also go for AWS and Azure, which are better choices than Oracle Cloud in terms of the global footprint that those cloud. If you want to go to cloud, definitely AWS, Azure are better, more reliable, more bigger than Oracle Cloud. So not a
So anybody
yeah.
think like mostly people are using for cost saving like
Yes.
Oracle Cloud and Azure, like two like that
Yes.
for database was Oracle and
No,
then Azure.
Oracle Cloud is basically again many actually Oracle database is pretty famous. So many big corporations have Oracle databases in large numbers. So they would ask Oracle that, hey, do you want? How do we migrate that? Because it's very expensive on AWS. When AWS, we ask AWS, hey, we want to put our Oracle databases there, and we are good with Oracle, and they say, whoa, it's that much. Then they go for Azure. They're also expensive. Then Oracle had to uh, go for their own cloud offering as well. So because of the on-premises, huge amount of companies have invested millions in Oracle products. VMware Cloud, VMware Linux based. Now VMware is Linux based as well. But before also, the Linux based version of VMware only connects to Oracle. And 80% of the world's companies have VMware as a platform. And majority of them have Linux-based VMware. So Oracle is pretty much in many of the companies on premises. So that's why Oracle Cloud has a market as well. Other than that, yes, if you have Oracle products, go for Oracle Cloud. Otherwise, all other clouds are better than Oracle. Chen says 5.5. So 5.5 had less features in Linux-based vCenter. 6.0 onwards, it's 6.0 had equal features in Linux vCenter as well as, and then 6.5 and 6.7. Now this Saturday we're starting actually in NetWest College 7.0, which is the latest version of VMware vCenter, and this is totally Linux. Windows has been thrown out, kicked out brutally in 7.0 version. So it's bye-bye for that. So 7.0 course is starting this Saturday evening, and I'll be creating big labs for that. That will be, till now I've been working on Windows-based vCenter. I just kept with Windows as long as I could until VMware just forced me into Linux-based now. So yeah, it is online class. Well, till pandemic, every class is online. But it's under the umbrella of NetWest College. Okay, so well, we need to delete the project and clean up all the mess, and we need to open a free tier for Oracle Cloud, and I'll just go ahead and go for the project, and just make sure that you delete everything. Also remove your domain from here as well, and properly, right? So I'm gonna go for this project here, and I'll select this, go to permissions, settings actually, and then again go there and select this project. So then it will take me to shutdown. This is a very weird way to go for me. So I'll delete this project, and then I'll delete the other one, and we need to really remove the domain from there as well. G Suite is a very interesting option, guys. Exchange Online and Teams Online is a very critical skill. Office 365 is critical. Many jobs are there. I just got a project of Office 365 as well, and Azure. So there are many jobs, well-paying jobs actually. Office 365 is crucial to its skill is very crucial, and they're changing so fast, and the more they're changing, I'm also going more in depth with newer courses of Office 365. Okay, I'll just go for the next project here, and settings. And okay, yeah, break. So after the break, we create a free tier, and free tier, and then we go for introduction of that, and start creating users and groups, and then go for machines there as well, right, for Oracle Cloud. Okay, so yeah, let's take a break. 7:36, 46, 56. Let's take 7:56. Resume here, and let's start with the Oracle free tier. So I'll just go for day 01, and it is, oh actually it is Tuesday, it is 7:06, okay, and it's the Oracle Cloud this time. Okay, so Oracle Cloud, and we're here. So the link that you need to follow and create a user name, and the free tier, this link is there. So we're well, I'll just put it on the chat as well as on please create your free 1 month cloud user account in Oracle Cloud. So that is what we will go for. So I'm going to click that free tier here, and I'll just click that oracle.com Canada English Cloud Free, and here in free tier we can go ahead and start for free. We can just, when you're on this page, you can just click that, getting started with Oracle Cloud Console. So there's a what's included in the Oracle Cloud free tier: always free services you can use for an unlimited time, 2 Oracle autonomous databases with powerful tools like Oracle Application Express and Oracle SQL Developer, 2 Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Compute VMs, block, object, and archive storage, load balancer, and data egress monitoring and notifications. So it's a 30-day trial, and it's $300. Access to a wide range of Oracle Cloud services for 30 days, including databases, analytics, compute, and container engine for Kubernetes. Up to 8 instances across all available services. Excuse me, up to 5 terabyte of storage. So, well, this is how much. So it's 30 days, and it's $300 credits, right? So time is not that long. When we get to that, see below for all list of eligible resources. So it goes on. So what I would suggest is those who are following, you can just click the start for free and actually fill out the form. It's same. It's just a basic form. Your full name, your address, your credit card information, and a cell phone to, and they will send you the text, and you put the text, and then they create your 30-day free tier account, right? So that's going to be So Oracle Cloud advantage over Amazon Web Services, really get more with Oracle Cloud free tier. Oracle Cloud free tier always free, 2 autonomous. Oh, we talked about that. Compute VMs, 100 GB block volume, 10 GB object volume. So object volume is where you can upload files and folders, and block volume is that you can upload virtual disks and virtual machines, and those that block volume supports reads and writes, lots of reads and writes for virtual machines, right? So AWS free tier, free for 12 months. They're just comparing their one database 20 GB. Oracle says we give in free tier two autonomous databases 20 GB. And compute VMs here, computed 30 GB block volume, AWS gives, and Oracle gives 100 GB block volume for 1 month. Hey, they give it for 12 months, right? Oracle is giving for 1 month. They didn't compare that. And 5 GB object storage, 10 GB object storage. So consistently less expensive than AWS, really. Well, yeah, it's cheaper than, it's supposed to be cheaper than AWS. It doesn't have that kind of market as AWS has. And the reliability, we have to check that out as well. But Cloud Economics, see how we compare. So they will go for their 1/4 the cost for outbound bandwidth, 2x better compute price per performance, 44% lower compute cost for HPC, which is high powered compute like databases, 20x the IOPS for half the price. So yes, it is cheaper. You can go for that. Yes, accept cookies. Mohammed Isaac says, do we accept the cookies as well while starting the free tier? So yes, you can accept the cookies. And okay, so yeah, that's how it goes. The whole screenshots here, for you fill out the form, and then it asks for account name, terms of usage, then it goes for the number. So pretty much a straightforward form that you fill. Add payment verification. Once the payment is done, then you go for agreement, and it starts, it creates your account, right? So fill out a form and do all that. And then it goes down to Cloud, Oracle Cloud free tier, 2 cloud offers in one. Sign up for a cloud account today to receive always free access to compute virtual machines, object storage, data egress, and other essential building blocks developers need to create applications on top of Oracle Autonomous Database. Plus, get user $300 of free credits for 30 days to use even more services to prototype your own applications, run machines. So, well, this is free tier is, just like AWS Azure free tier. Um, Azure gives, I think, $165. Oh no, $250, I think, and they give here. So it's like Azure, but it's not as in the market as Azure is. But you will see that it's for Oracle products, and Oracle databases are in large scale in all big companies. So what are always free cloud services? Infrastructure, databases, management, additional services. So yes, they keep on repeating the same thing. And what can I try with my Oracle Cloud free trial credits? Infrastructure, databases, application development, analytics, content, and experience management, and security integration. So frequently asked questions. Yeah, okay, so the same thing, right? Same thing again and again and again and again. So once you're able to create an account. So then, guys, the Google Cloud, did we in Google Cloud, I did not go for, okay, I'll just clean up the mess then later. But here, the main thing is you can, well, that domain is also not a very big deal. We can always remove that easily. So while you're creating an account, I'm just here in G Suite admin console, and so let me see, WWC 123, Yorkshire 123. So I'm just in G Suite admin console for subscription suspended already. Okay, looks like it's already good. Trial has ended, so okay. So I cannot log in, so yeah, that's good. And if I go back to the account in GCP, admin, add account, Google account, payments and subscriptions. If I go to payments and subscriptions and reservations, subscription, recurring payment, subscription, revenue subscription. Okay, that's good. Manage experience, manage payment methods, people sharing, security, home, personal. What I'm checking here is can I delete that account just like in AWS or okay. Anyway, I'll check it out and we'll share if I keep your account protected, privacy, account storage. Not there. So, well, this is the cloud account that I was looking for. So, where were we? I'm gonna just simply minimize this. Okay, so hopefully your account is created. Until your account is getting created, you need to just log in to Oracle Cloud, and then you should be in yeah, on this console. So you should be on this console, and if you're done, right? So you'll be landing on this console. Okay, so yeah, okay. Oracle Chintan says Oracle console is good, better than others. Yeah, more clear. Yes, you're right about that. Okay, let's also choose the check the services. Oh, guys, also I went for US East. I forgot to tell you. Hopefully you've gone for US East there, Ashburn. And I thought Ashburn was in England. Maybe it is there as well. Anyway, but I log into US East. If you're in some other region, you can come to US East. We're gonna still stick to US East there. So if this is the console you're in, then there's all those categories: create a VM instance, create an ADP database, advanced threat protection. I'm always free eligible. So these are always free eligible things, right? And autonomous data warehouse, networking, resource manager, object storage, networking, certain load balancer. So these are some of the services that they are already showing there. And second thing is there is that regions, data regions for platform and infrastructure services. So that link I'm gonna put there as and well. Oracle. And guidelines for selecting a default data region. To find out where an Oracle Cloud service is available, refer to the table below. So it's available in North America, and I think this is Middle East and Africa, and that is LAD. Okay, wow, LAD. Hey, what's LAD? Okay, that's Central or South America, right? The continent. And APAC, so that would be Japan, South Korea, Asia Pacific, right? And dedicated region cloud at customer and government cloud as well. So government, US government has, if they have created their machines in Oracle Cloud as well. So North America, EMEA, LAT, so these are all the countries or areas where you have the cloud services. And if I keep going down, 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 so that's a lot of services that they're offering. Energy sources or metrics. So Oracle's total energy and emissions data is disclosed. Okay, Oracle Cloud energy and emissions. So this is the emissions report. Okay, so they're very clean. And so yeah, that's it. There are in these regions they are available, and so it shows here visit oracle.com Canada. Am I not in Canada? Canada English, I'll check that. Okay, so if I go back to the console here, so Latin America. Okay, LAD is Latin America. Now I'm back to the console, Oracle Cloud, and there we can create instances and ADP and ADW autonomous data warehouse, right? And I set at advanced threat protection. Why? In Azure, this is the service there, but it is autonomous transaction processing. So it's all about, you're going to see a lot of references to databases, because Oracle basically is a database vendor. So it created a cloud to again accommodate all its database related solutions. So if you go to the left top here, and you can see that navigational menu on the left top, you can see core infrastructure. So compute, block storage, object storage, file storage, networking. Pretty much that's what we're doing. Why? Because the rest is all databases. Oracle database, overview, autonomous data warehouse, autonomous JSON database, autonomous transaction processing, bare metal, VM, and exadata. Exadata, that's exabyte. Exabyte or exadata cloud at customer. MySQL, NoSQL, Apex, application development. The developers and databases, right? And big data again, this is developers and NoSQL. But big data is all about analytics as well. So email delivery, monitoring, marketplace, VMware solution. So VMware also has been working with Oracle for many decades. So VMware virtual machines can be also migrated to Oracle. So if you go down there, then it's monitoring and diagnostics. More Oracle Cloud services, other services, access to more services is here. But if we governance and administration, so there's Cloud Advisor, account management, identity, security, governance, administration. So that's but overall they revolve around their main products for which they are famous, and for which companies have been really connected to them, and that's the database. But obviously they do offer all the other cloud services as well. So if we go ahead with this user management, so there's add user to your tenancy here, and what's new? Well, what's new is just the news here, but that also is available way down here in account management, cost analysis. But this is just account management in terms of your payment method, budgets, invoices, cost analysis. Identity actually takes you to users, groups, dynamic groups, network sources, policies, compartments, Federation Authentication Settings. This is just like IAM in AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Oracle Cloud's IAM would be this identity here. IAM is also Identity and Access Management, Security Overview, Cloud Guard, Security Zones, Vault, Governance, Tenancy Explorer, Quota Policies, Limits, Quotas, and Usages, and then Administration. So tenancy details, region management, announcements. So basically we can go on the right side to this user management, which just if I go down further, that's just documentation and just the news. So if I go to add a user to your tenancy, and you can create users there, your first name 01, and description, so I'll just put that Control C, Control V, and then email optional, and I'll go for my email here, the Gmail. Show advanced options, and this is just tags again, key value pair, right? So department and branch and all that. So I'm just gonna click create here, or you want to create another user. So I'm just gonna click create that one user. So user email already exists. Ouch. Okay. I do have another email. Yeah, one more email is open there. Let's see, dot at brown.ca. Okay, I'll just put to another email that I am logged into, and I can confirm from there. Okay, that email is good, so please go ahead and create that. So I created that user here, and enable multi-factor authentication, that is also there. And if I go to that email, yeah, so I got email from Oracle, and your administrator has invited you to the Oracle Cloud. Sign into your new user account on Oracle Cloud. Alternatively, if the link does not work. Okay, so I got an email from, I was seeing in the other screen, and this is just verification pending is still there, and sign into your new user account. So this is the other screen that the user is authorization failed or requested, resource not found. Attempt to activate the email address failed. Please ensure that you are logged in as a user with the email address that needs validation. You can visit the user details. Ouch. Okay. Wow, you have $40 left in your trial. When your trial is over, your account will be limited to always free resources. Okay, that was, you're in a free trial. When is your, okay. So anyway, when I log into the user, so but we will stick to our this user here, and which is our root user, and we don't really need to go for the other user, but this is how we can create user here, which is no big deal. So if we go ahead, and I'm going to click that Oracle Cloud just to go to the dashboard again, and that was just user management here. Then if we go to the portal here, so there's compute, and then there's block storage, object storage, file storage, networking, basically, and other than that, the database section. So if I go way down to the bottom here, so then we can see the cloud advisor and account management. I'm going to go to identity here, so that's way down, and then I'm going to go to the identity. So in the identity, yes, there already is a user here, then there's this user, and Oracle Identity Cloud Service / IDGaming. So with IDGaming Gmail, I created this whole subscription. That's why it did not let me create a user with the same email as the root user's email. So, well, this is pretty straightforward. It's a users, right? Then if we want to go for groups, so there's that administrators group already there. If I go for administrators group, so inside, obviously my root user is already added there, unless you want to add someone else here. So I'm going to go back to this. So in the groups, and if I go for create group, And this page creates a local group only. To create and manage federated groups, go to the federation page to find the appropriate identity provider details. Remember that identity provider is, whenever you see that term, you saw that in Google, you saw that in AWS, in Azure as well. Identity provider is some other website that you trust. So you trust, suppose that some other website is G Suite or Google website, and there are so many users in that, so you trust their authentication and authorization. So the users from Google get authenticated from Google G Suite, and then they can actually connect to Oracle without having a separate account for them in Oracle. So that is the federation. So what it's saying is that you can create a local group. Okay, so suppose we go for marketing DEPD and Control A, Control C, and then description, Control V, and show advanced options here. So it's just tagging, nothing else. So I just give a name, and I'm gonna click create. And that's the marketing department, and there is you can just create add users there, right? And if I go for edit group, so that's it, that's the name change. So not much here. If I click the add user to a group, obviously, then I can add this user. If I just type this user here and add, so pretty straightforward, very basic, not much there. If I go down to the left side, IDP managed groups there. So identity provider, IDP is always identity provider, which means that on any website that you have connected to, if you've connected to any website with Oracle, Oracle connected to Facebook, Oracle connected to Google, Oracle connected to Azure, so Oracle will trust their authentication, and those users' accounts need not be created here as well. So, but our Oracle subscription is not connected to any other identity provider. So if I go back to group details and then go back to groups, so that just local group got created really easily, and there's a dynamic groups here as well. It's very strange that they have put some combination of Office 365 Exchange server here as well. So dynamic group normally is a much more complicated group, but normally what it does is that it says whichever user's department, suppose whichever user's department is marketing, that user will automatically become a member of this group, or whichever user's country is US or Canada, so that user will automatically, so it searches for some of the values in the identity section of any user's profile, and whatever value you define here, that okay, look for this, and then if that value is found in the IAM section or identity section or Active Directory section, there's not directory here, but identity section, then if that value in the profile, suppose the department value is sales, then yes, send emails, or that user is part of your dynamic group. So dynamic group, basically you don't add members there manually, you just define a value, and that value is found in any of the user's profile, then that user becomes automatically a member. So it says, do we need to add our credit info? Is there any way we ignore it? Well, no, there's no way. You have to create, just like in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. This is pretty much exactly the same concept again, just different names and different interfaces. Otherwise, exactly the same. Compute, storage, networking, database. 4 times are here as well. So yes, there's no way to avoid that, Ali. Okay, so if I go to create dynamic group here, Now, so test dash dynamic group and Control A, Control C, click Control V, and then we go down to rule 1. So there is a rule builder, or match all rules defined below. It gives an example as well, instance.id here, or example this. So rules define what resources are members of this group, dynamic group. All instances that meet the criteria are added automatically. So this is pretty much an instance related group. Well, security group can have instances or virtual machines as well as users. It's just a security group, right? So how do you want to put the instances? So instance compartment.id or ocid compartment.oc1. So they're just saying that if you have any instances, first of all, then you can add it here with this rule, that whichever compartment is just a folder type, or just organizational value there, that did you sales compartment or marketing compartment, and sales compartment has sales virtual machines or sales instances. So what compartment and what's the ID for that? So if all their instances are in this specific compartment, then they become automatically part of this dynamic group. Basically that's what it shows. So match all rules and define below. So there's a rule builder here. If I go to the rule builder on the right side, so include instances that match any of the following or all of the following. If I go for any of the following here in the drop down, well, obviously we don't have any instances. So instance OCID or compartment OCID that they are living inside. So this means that when we do create instances, then we come back here and define that which compartments which instances are. And the main idea behind dynamic group basically is you define the rule and they follow the rule, and through that they make automatically members, whichever are defined here, whichever values are defined here. So I'm going to cancel out from here because we don't have any instances, and this is specifically for instances that is asking. Then there are network sources. So create network source here, and then it goes for name, description, and virtual cloud network. So VPC in AWS, VNet in Azure, VPC in Google Cloud, and VCN or virtual cloud network in Oracle. So it's just same thing. You want to create a network resource and to connect all the instances there, then you can do that. Normally this kind of creating a new VPC does not belong in the identity area or the users and groups section, but welcome to Oracle Cloud. So maybe in 6 months, 1 year, you might see a totally different interface or a lot of differences, a lot of changes there. With the cloud, they have the that privilege of changing whatever they want according to their users' complaints. So you can create a virtual cloud network here, and IP address, and you can create subnets here, but we're not there yet. So I'm going to click cancel here. Then network resources, then there are policies here, and Oracle Cloud Infrastructure uses compartments to organize your resources, and view and manage your resources. Pick a compartment and resource type using the filter on the left. So learn more about compartments. These are the compartments basically, right? So if you go for learn more here, so after you select a service from navigation menu, the menu on the left includes the compartments list. Well, we haven't created one, so that's why it's not really. Compartments help you organize resources to make it easier to control access to them, right? So it's all about organization of resources. Your root compartment is created for you by Oracle when your tenancy is provisioned. We create the tenancy already. An administrator can create more compartments in the root compartment and then add the access rules to control which users can see and take action in them, right? So to manage compartments, see managing compartments. The list of compartments is filtered to show you only the compartments that you have permission to access. Okay, anyway, so this is what we're talking about. What are compartments or managing compartments here? I'll copy that and put it. So what are compartments? And then the link, and I'll just put it here. If we go back to this, so before we go to policies, we can actually go to compartments directly here. And so it's there to manage resources, and there's a create compartment written here. So I'm just going to click that create compartment and go for, okay, suppose it's sales DEPT underscore compartment. Control A, Control C. Hopefully they allow me the underscore. Yep, they do. Compartment. Compart. And parent compartment is IT guy me root. Yeah, so your email and root tag key value. Suppose it's department, and this is sales. Okay, so it belongs to sales department. Suppose you're gonna go for those tags there, extra information, metadata, right? So I'm gonna click that create compartment, and it gets created. Okay, where's the refresh here? Oh, there's no local refresh. Okay, soon they will have refresh also available as a button. So I'm just gonna go for the browser-based refresh here, this one. Okay, so if I go inside the ITGuime root, so there is the sales compartment already inside under the ITGuime root, right? So these are called child compartments, and inside the sales compartment, if I go, so you can rename the compartment, you can edit description, move resource, more action. So if I click more actions, add tags and open support request, or there's a move resource here. And if we go for move resource, so it goes for, hey, what do you want to move from the root manage compartment for PaaS or platform as a service? We don't have any instances yet. We don't have any resource here. After you move this compartment, the policy of the current parent compartment no longer applies. The policy of the new parent compartment is applied. Before moving this compartment, ensure that you are aware of any policy changes. Anyway, now the thing is that we still need to create the building blocks. We can go directly to an instance, create one instance, and check it out here as well. Then we can see if we can move the resource. I'm just going to cancel out from here. But we can move resources. And what are compartments? You can put policies here on the compartment once there are resources inside. What are resources? Users, groups, instances. In most cases, it is instances that you put some information there. So if we go down, so it says here name, status, OCID. OCID is normally for the identification of Oracle Cloud ID, right? OCID is Oracle Cloud ID, and it is for the instances. So definitely instances are there, and then you can move them here. Authorize security zone here. Security zone is a logical group of resources identified by a compartment. Once a compartment is marked as a security zone, all resources within that compartment are treated as security zone resources, and security zone policies are applied to them. So basically, you want to apply some policies, security policies as well. You can do that from here. So we have created some basic infrastructure here, and later when we create resources, we're going to try to come back and put them or move those resources here in the compartments as well. I'm going to go back to compartments here. I want to visit again that policies area, and the main thing, compartment filter. So there's a pick a compartment written here, right? And there is just learn more. So if we go down to this list scope here, and there's a pick a compartment. So if I go for this is the root compartment, or I keep on saying compartment, but it's just organization of resources. Sales compartment will have sales virtual machines. Marketing department will have marketing virtual machines, right? So if I go expand that and try to go down, so it's not letting me really see that other one that we created, the sales one. If I just choose that top one here, ID guy me, or the top compartment that gets created automatically when you create this whole subscription here, then it goes for. So there's a great policy that we wanted to actually explore, that what kind of policies we get. That okay, compartment is where we can move resources. We have yet to see that too, what resources and how to move them. But what about that great policy? So what are the policies there? Are they related to users, groups, instances, security, storage? What are they doing? So if we click the create policy here, so there is that we can say test dash policy, control A, control C, control V, and compartment, it's the top one. And second thing is policy use cases. So what type of policies are we interested in? So there's a user management related policies are you interested in, audit policies, network management, compute instances management, storage management, database, key and secret management. It keeps on going. Compartment management itself, announcements, streaming, monitoring, events, account management. So when you're talking about policies that you can implement on top of a compartment, then you can also see that that kind of resources can belong to a compartment, right? Network resources, compute resources, storage resources, databases can be inside a compartment on which you can put policies. So, if you go for user management here, I just went for user management. So then there is let the help desk manage users, let group admins manage group memberships. So there are templates there, policy templates. Suppose there's a group admins, we select there, manage group membership, and it goes down to let group admins manage group membership. So select groups. We just created a marketing department local group, and there's an administrators group already there. If I select the administrators and then select a location, which is this compartment, so on top on so this is the top compartment that got created automatically when we create the subscription. So you want to manage who has the admin rights on this. So whoever is part of the admin group can actually, we can add actually multiple, we can add two or more users here as well, and whoever is part of this local group can actually manage the compartment and all the resources inside the compartment, right? So other than that, allow administrators to inspect users in tenancy ID guy me. So this is the tenancy name here. You get that there. If you want to go for user management, there's a policy for that, and the policy got created that whoever's part of that local group can do anything within the resources of these compartment here. So I'm gonna there's show advanced options here. If we go show advanced options, wow, how advanced it is. It's just tag key value. That's all, nothing else. I'm gonna click create here and check if it lets me create that policy. So test policy got created where administrators group has user management higher privileges regarding user management on the default compartment. Overall, that's how it translates to. If I go back to policies here, and there's that test policy, and if I go to the test policy that I created, so this is how it looks like. You can still edit the policy and change it if you want, and other than that, pretty simple, straightforward interface. We did go for user management, right? And we did select that, okay, this is the compartment which we want to manage with. If I go back to the users, there's federated users here as well, and it depends on the identity providers. Again, it's the Google users you want added here, it's the Azure users you want added here, so whichever. And if we I just create that user, it shows green active there as well. If I go inside, so add user to the group, yes, we can add user to the group. API keys, application programming interface keys, authentication tokens, customer secret keys, SMTP credentials, the email credentials there. We see all that, right? Create reset password, multi-factor authentication, resend, verification, more actions are there. And link support account, add tags. So not much. If I go for edit user, why am I here? I want to check that if we can make that user be part of some kind of compartment here as a resource, right? So what I don't see actually here anywhere that it can be part of the compartment directly. We will later see that the instances can be moved, but not the users. So if the users, we go there, so either we can use the tag keys there, or we can, and the user type is local or Oracle Identity Cloud Service. So it's a service account or a local account. So I select that and click here. It's a local account, right? There are 3 dots here as well. Copy OCID, recent verification, or add tags here as well. So it's Oracle Cloud identification for the user is also available. So it's not just for the virtual machines or instances, it's for the users as well that you can use. So other than that, so we get to create some policies, which is kind of straightforward, that how you want to create a policy for what you want to create a policy. That is also clear. And compartments are, we still have to create a virtual machine, virtual instance. So we will be coming back here for that in identity once we create virtual machine. After we do that, we're going to go for virtual machine to create one, and then come back here and check if we can move resources to a compartment, because there's so many policies that we can create here, these policies. But it's not you can see that it's not a very big, identity area is not that big, and as the identity and access management of Azure and AWS, and they were pretty big, and lots of resources were there. Microsoft actually has Azure Active Directory, which is not comparable with others in terms of the identity and access management. Okay, so if we go down to Federation here, Federation is basically, Federation would be your local branch. Either you want to connect the identity of the identity provider, which is normally an Active Directory. You can see here that you need the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Federation metadata document when setting up a trust with Microsoft Active Directory Federation services or with other SAML 2.0 security assertion markup language 2.0 compliant identity providers. This is an XML document that describes Oracle Cloud Infrastructure endpoint and certificate information. So it's the same thing that we talked about before with all those Federation related scenarios, that if you have a Toronto branch here, Tor branch, and you go for there's that first of all there's a domain controller DC here, right? And then you have ADFS, Active Directory Federation Services. So Active Directory Federation Services, the main purpose of that is to let the local, so it offers SSO, single sign-on, and let the local users connect to any outside web application with their own credentials. So local users can connect to any outside web application. Cloud is all web application, right? So it's all inside the web. So if local branch users need to be connected with their own credentials, then they can use Active Directory Federation services, and from there it connects to the Oracle Cloud or Google Cloud or Azure or AWS. So, well, that's pretty much the same story that for all four clouds, that you want to connect with the local branch users with single sign-on. You want to let them connect to your cloud provider identity mechanism, then you need to have federation services, Active Directory Federation services. All four clouds say that same thing. You need to have Active Directory Federation services there. Or SAML 2.0 security assertion markup language. This is pretty much supported. This is authentication mechanism that is supported by all sites there, Google and, well, all sites, right? So I just started writing there, AWS, Azure, all Salesforce, Facebook. So any of those users can really go for any of these sites users. They all actually support SAML, security assertion markup language. This just lets you authenticate users of another site to your site. SAML is used for that. So either you want to go from other site to this, or you want to go from a branch to Oracle Cloud. So for that, it's just saying that, okay, you need to have this big application deployed, and then let that application create a document that is XML document and provide that to me, and I will then I will know that, okay, that's your exact identities of your ADFS of your application, and then you can connect. So overall, this is the federation, what it does. So I'll just skip that. Okay, so other than that, authentication settings. So edit authentication password settings only apply to non-federated users in this tenancy. So well, pretty simple, one button interface. Edit authorization or authentication settings here. Password settings only apply to non-federated users in the tenancy. So select network resource, well, there is none, and just password complexity related information available here. Pretty straightforward here. I'm going to cancel out from here. If you want to make password more complex, you can just go ahead and make changes. I'll go back to identity. So pretty not a lot of stuff here in identity, and I'll go back to this navigational menu and go way down to, this was identity, then there is account management. This is cost analysis, cost and usage reports, budgets, invoices, payment method. We already defined the payment method, the credit card, subscription sharing, and linked tenancies here. So if I click the account management here, way down, so cost analysis of what's going on. We haven't started using it much there, so no analysis will be available for now to be downloaded. And then there is cost and usage reports. Obviously, this is the same for all the cloud, other clouds as well. Budgets, you can just create budget. Oh, I can afford monthly this kind of budget and that kind of budget. So that is, you can use budgets to track costs in your tenancy. After creating a budget for a compartment, you can set up alerts that will notify you if a budget is forecast to be exceeded, or if spending surpasses a certain amount. So if I go for create a budget, so it can budget rule, actual spend, forecast spend, threshold type. So you can go for threshold as well, and you can just type that if I go for $0, which it will not accept, or 1% of the budget, then, and you just still have to define a budget first, right? Monthly budget, how many thousands of dollars? So you can just define here and then put a threshold. If 1% is surpassed, just alert me, right? So I'm going to click that, cancel out. Well, it's the same thing in all other three clouds, right? And you can create invoices. Actually, it's going to create invoices for you. So invoice section here, payment method, it's already your credit card is added there, or you can request a sales call. You can convert to pay as you go anytime after 1 month. Subscription sharing, so that is sharing your subscriptions with other tenancies allows you to consolidate billing once a sharing invitation is accepted by another tenancy. So this means that if you have another Google Cloud, Oracle Cloud, seriously, Oracle Cloud account, you want to share tenancy with that, so then you can invite. So you can just send an invitation to another email that you know that through that email another Oracle Cloud subscription is created, so you can just manage the billing of that other Oracle user account and this one. So linked tenancies, again you have multiple tenancies to Oracle Cloud with separate email and separate credit cards, then you can link them together. If I go back to this was, then there's a cloud advisor here. Normally it gives you advices when you have something there to be advised on. So it's a cloud advisor provides recommendations. That's all, right? Security recommendations and whatever the vendor best practices, whatever it sees against vendor best practices, it goes for then providing those recommendations. So pretty straightforward again. And if I go down to security here, so there is security overview, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Security, Cloud Guard, Security Zones, Vault, and Web Application Firewall services help you configure an environment conducive to maintaining secure enterprise workloads. Security advisor workflows help you create resources that abide by the enhanced security requirements of such environments. So anyway, they have some security tools that you can use. So secure object storage buckets. Oh, really? They also call those folders as buckets. So everyone's copying AWS, and AWS is not bothering to sue anyone. So this means buckets is used there in AWS storage, used in Google Cloud Storage, and now they're used in Oracle Cloud Storage as well. They just ran out of words for the storage holder. Only Microsoft came up with blob. Okay, anyway, so you can securely create a bucket here. You can create a secure file system, you can create a secure instance, and which is improve boot volume security by creating a virtual machine instance and encrypting the attached boot volume with a key that you manage. Okay, so this is centrally offering security to different services of Oracle. So create secure block volume. Okay, so that's the we're going to be separately going to those areas, and then we can do that secure creation of the services. And for general information about Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Security, see the Security Cloud Security Guide. So then there's Cloud Guard. So now these are all the services that one by one then they're featuring. Automatically identify and remediate security problems. Cloud Guard is a centralized infrastructure security console that enables IT security and risk management teams to monitor. So it's all about monitor the aggregated security posture for applications, workloads, and databases running on. So it's not taking any action. It is not preventing anything, but it is going to monitor and let you know if there is any type of security loophole there. So targets, detectors, problems, responders. So responders provide notifications and corrective actions for, so it does have some kind of preventive measures as well. It's not just alerting. So these are all the services that it does, and in order to use all features of the service, you must have the following minimum required privileges. Okay, so these are just the privileges of your account. But this is so detects misconfigured resources, delivers out of the box recipes that apply security best practices, provides automated responders to trigger corrective actions, so it does act as well, not only just identifies. It gives a global view of customers' overall security posture of their OCI tenants, Oracle Cloud. So if there's a get started here, and if I click enable Cloud Guard, so to proceed, a tenancy administrator must create the following policy to allow Cloud Guard to manage resources. Additionally, in order to use all the features of Cloud Guard, users are required to have a minimum set of required privileges. Well, allow Service Cloud Guard to read. Well, it's just saying that, hey, you want to give all this there. If I select that, and I'm not able to click all any of those right here. So, but policy name is Cloud Guard policies, right? And it says that, oh, okay, you give me all the rights to do this. So I say, okay, you can have all these rights and privileges, and because I can give you, I have the root account, right? So all statements have been added successfully to the policy Cloud Guard policies, and then I'm going to click next, and so there's a reporting region, and that is US East Ashburn that we selected, and compartments to monitor. So do you want this monitoring policy to be on any specific compartment? And suppose I go for manage compartments for PaaS, platform services controller, or that's the main compartment, or pretty much whatever compartments we have. And then configuration detector recipe. So OCI configuration detector recipe, Oracle managed recipe just is collection of code, security code that would let you know set of rules that detect and alert upon user activity based issues, right? And then there is activity detector recipe. So if I go down here, OCI activity detector recipe, Oracle managed. So you just recipes are just collection of security codes, right? So we went for Cloud Guard here, and we said that do the security monitoring of US East region and all compartments where we have still yet to add resources, but all compartments, keep an eye on those. And so I'm just going to click enable here, and it says Cloud Guard subscription is not available for tenant, blah 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 blah. Okay, so right now this subscription is not available. Well, okay, I'm going to cancel out from here, but we do get to know that you can implement services, you can implement all those policies, security policies there, and it's going to send you recommendations, and those policies can be implemented on compartments. Compartments are supposed to have resources inside them. So that's Cloud Guard. And if I go down back here to security, okay, so then there is security zones. Security zones automatically enforce security standards and best practices on resources in selected compartments. So users cannot create or update a resource in a security zone if the action violates a security zone policy. So you just want to put more restrictions in a compartment for different users. So if I click the create security zone here, so it already has maximum security recipe. If we go test security zone, okay, and I control A, C, and V, and create in compartment. Okay, it's a top compartment, and I'll click create security zone because it doesn't let me do anything during the creation. But once it is created, then we can go inside and check that what is this maximum security recipe 202.00914.14.9.2020. Okay, it was created at that time. So, well, what it does is this. first of all, this recipe is Oracle managed and its policies cannot be modified. So deny, attach, block, volume, not in security zone, move to compartment in security zone. So and there is a three dots. Learn more about this policy. So what does it really do? What kind of denies have we added here? So you can just learn more by clicking like this. And when you create and update resources in a security zone, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure validates these operations against the policies associated with the security zone. If any policy is violated, then the operation is denied. So restrict resource movement. To ensure the integrity of your data, you can't move certain resources from a security zone to a standard compartment because it might be less secure. So these are all the deny, block, volume, compute related denies, networking related denies, object related. So you can just check that what exactly they do by going to the details. So security zone policy, I'll just put it here as well. And if we go back, so there's policies and there's associated security zones here, but overall you can see that this is managed one created by Oracle Cloud. If I click associated security zones, so test security zone that we created there with Oracle managed security recipe or collection of policies inside this. So I'm going to go back here to policy recipes, and this is Oracle managed. If I click overview, so if I click the create security zone again, and so it just gives maximum security recipe, which is all about moving away resources. Or if I go there, deny attached boot volume not in security zone. So it has those deny related policies there that it will. These are just already managed, so they are already created. You cannot move edit them. And if you want to implement them, so it's if it's related to storage, these are the deny policies for storage. If they're related to, well, pretty much they are all related to boot volume actually. And connected to instance, connected to a compartment. So yeah, you just have to know that what are you denying, right? And you can just go here and then check it out. Showing 10 items, 104. If I click that further, it goes for another set of deny buckets, deny database, deny data guard, DB instances. If I go for page 3, then it goes for instance security zone. So that's a lot of denies here. And 404 public subnets, subnet insecurity. Pretty much every kind of denies. So wherever you implement that, suppose you implement it in okay, where am I? Yeah, security zone. So suppose you implement it for database or for networks or for instances. So that whatever deny relates to that the service will be implemented. So, and if I click learn more here, so that would be the good read for security zones, which we already read before as well. An association between a compartment and a security zone recipe. Resource operations in a security zone are validated against all policies in the recipe. Okay. So security zone lets you be confident that your resources in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, including compute, networking, object storage, and database resources, comply with Oracle's security principles. So you want to implement security principles, then you go for security zones there. And okay. If we go back here in security, so then there's vault. Vault normally is Vault lets you create centrally manage the encryption keys that protect your data and secret credentials that you use to securely access resources. So it protects your encryption keys, right? So this security vault you can create in all other uh, cloud providers as well. If I click the create vault, and then it says it's test vault, make it a virtual private vault. So it's up to you. Advanced just goes for tag key. So I just create a test vault, and I'll click the create vault here. Or there something else? No. So there is that vault creating here, but basically its purpose is to manage your encryption keys. If you have encrypted any virtual machine, you have encrypted any databases, used encryption anywhere, you can save the encryption and decryption keys for in this vault. That's what it does. And then there is a fourth one here, that is a web application firewall, WAF, which is famously known as WAF there as well. So in Azure, in AWS, in Google Cloud also, WAF is used here, web application firewall, right? So I'm going to click create WAF policy as well, but we don't have a web application first of all. So test WAF, and name optional, primary domain, the host name or domain name of your website. So obviously you would have a web application there in the background. It will have a domain name. It should have a domain name, some kind of DNS name there to access the application. So that DNS name has to be added there. WAF origin name, URI. So all the application related information has to be given to the web application firewall, so the firewall could get connected to that web application that is published on the internet and protect it. So normally what firewall does is what it's going to do as well, which is to deploy security certificates, custom protection rules, IP address lists, blocking and allowing. That's what firewall does, and protocols blocking, ports blocking there. So you can just create those protection rules there. So there's WAF policy. Policy can only go out if you have an application URL, URIs there. And if we go for certificates, so there's a create WAF certificate as well. Guys, give me a second. Alright, so we were talking about WAF, but you must have the web application to really go for WAF here. And certificates, obviously you need to purchase certificates, security certificates from GoDaddy.com or some other CA, certificate authority, and then implement or add there. Basically you should have a web application to really connect that whole thing, and custom protection rules for WAF. Again, if I click the custom protection rules here, name and template, advanced options will just go for tags. And template, the template text of the custom protection rule. Each rule must include 2 placeholder variables, so they just give a format as well, and then that what kind of protection rules for the web application that you want to implement. If I go to help here, so WAF service allows you to define and apply custom protection rules from open source firewall modules to your WAF configuration, such as mod security modules. This topic describes how to format, create, and implement custom protection rules. So you want to go for custom protection rules. You should just first know what you want to protect, and then how does it look like. Then example of a custom protection rule that you want to, and the action to be taken when the criteria of the SEC rule or security rule are met, either off, delete, or block. This field is updated with the corresponding value of the action field. So obviously, if there's some event happening and you want, if that event happen, then detects change SQL injection attempts. So that's kind of a hacking attempt there on the databases. Then what do you want to really go for? What areas you want to block, what ports you want to block there, right? So detect, block, off. So this is just an example of custom protection rules that you can implement there if for any kind of known hacking attempts, and the rules, the formats that you need to know. So this during pandemic, many of the certifications were free for a certain time. So Oracle Cloud certifications were free as well. Oracle Cloud Administrator certification was free for I think 3 or 4 months, and many people gave that certification. They were asking for, hey, where's the file for that, where's the dumps for that, and then they gave that certification, just the certification, while not going through all this. And IP address lists, then you can just create WAF IP address lists there, allow and block lists, and you can well, this is just IP addresses itself. IP address, mean public IP addresses one by one. You can just put all those here. This web address or site annotations. So if we go down to the governance and administration, cloud advisor, account management, identity, security is there, and if we go for governance there as well, so that is audit is there. So auditing is going on. Well, auditing normally is enabled by every cloud service providers. The auditing is always enabled there. It's available in Oracle Cloud as well. And then there is a Tenancy Explorer. So it's just letting you know, don't see what you're looking for. Tenancy Explorer, you're just exploring that within your tenancy, how many groups you have, how many compartments you have, and created by who, at what time, and is it working. So whatever resources were created, whatever tags were written there, so you can just explore in the tenancy what has been configured by who. Quota policies, and that is also create quota for, you want to expand the storage, you want to expand the capacities of network, storage, databases, then you go for create quota policies. Obviously in the free tier we should stick to our limit and limits quotas and usages. So it also gives you what you have current quotas limits. Your tenancy has limits on the maximum number of resources you're allowed to use. You can use quotas to allocate resources to compartments. If you're an administrator in an eligible account, you can request a service limit increase. So you want to increase any service limits, then that can be done. Tag namespaces, Oracle tags, and create namespace definition. So tag namespaces in origami root compartment. So there's just tags that you can create there, right? So department, sales, and branch, Toronto, manager, John, So compliance documents, you want to also well, there are those to view a PDF document, you will need to use PDF reader software to see all the compliance. So Oracle Cloud complies with all those international standards there, IT standards there for different, for database standards, for network standards, for security, data security standards that have been defined by international standards bodies there. So, well, that's just compliance. But governance also, the governance there, access identity governance there in Azure had huge amount of features there. Here it's still Oracle Cloud is still the fourth. I don't know if it's fourth or maybe fifth or sixth. There's Alibaba Cloud, and that is from China, and that is also having a lot of business going on. So anyway, and then there is administration. If we go to administration here, so object storage settings, we have manage regions or service limits, object storage settings here, root. So it's all information only. And if I go for edit storage settings, that's the only button that we can click. And who has the rights, and and you want to implement the security zone there. So settings for object storage and this tenancy, Amazon S3 compatibility, API designated compartment. So this, the storage here in Oracle Cloud can actually be connected to AWS's S3 bucket as well. So they're just saying that hey, we are compatible with. You can just exchange data between Oracle Cloud storage and AWS storage as well. So that's the only thing in administration. So you can see that pretty they really need a lot of work, and so it's just comparison related stuff that we can do. But what they are experts in for all the last decades, Oracle is expert in databases, NoSQL and relational databases, and big data. So that's where they have a big market, and that is something that the big companies would be definitely interested in. They would go for the professionals that they've been trusting for their huge data for a few decades. So definitely if that vendor is in the cloud, so the companies would follow for their big databases in the cloud as well. So that's why it can grab a market, but their specialty is databases, Oracle. AWS pretty much offers all kinds of solutions, and Azure also offers all kinds of solutions. Google Cloud is special for Kubernetes and developers, while Oracle Cloud is special for databases, Oracle databases, that is. So other than that, it's just cheap, and it's just gonna need a lot of time to expand as a competitor. So that's we went for governance and administration. If I go way up there, so there is a compute here, and in the compute we have instances. If we go click the instances here, so there is the compute service helps you provision VMs and bare metal instances to meet your compute and application requirements. An instance is a compute host. Choose between virtual machines and bare metal instances. So they do say that they have bare metal instances as well. The image that you use to launch an instance determines its operating system and other software. Okay, I'm going to click that create instance here, and instance name is this, today's date, and time as well, 9:20, and date. So other than that, so it says image Oracle Linux 7.9, that's the image it's using. But configure placement and hardware, so we're just going to go for edit here, and the availability domain helps determine which shapes are available. A shape is a template that determines the number of CPUs, amount of memory, and other resources allocated to an instance. The image is the operating system that runs on top of that shape. So shape is your virtual hardware, right? So are you in a good shape or are you in a bad shape? So so then availability domain 81 and then 82, 83. So availability is just that you want to keep your machines highly available by having their copies on other domains as well, then you can go for obviously the free ones is just one, so this means that high availability for now is not available. Choose a fault domain for this instance. If you don't select a fault domain, Oracle will choose the best placement for you. So 81 is supposed to be um, a collection of fault domains. When we say mention the word fault domain, it's always okay. There's a learn more here as well. VMware has the same concept of fault domains. A fault domain is a grouping of hardware and infrastructure within an availability domain. So each availability domain contains 3 fault domains. So 81 contains 3 fault domains. Fault domains provide anti-affinity. They let you distribute your instances so that the instances are not on the same physical hardware within a single availability domain. A hardware failure or compute hardware maintenance event that affects one fault domain does not affect instances in other fault domains. In addition, the physical hardware in a fault domain has independent and redundant power supplies, which prevents a failure in the power supply hardware within one fault domain from affecting other fault domains. So in English, what it says is that so you have a rack here, and you have rack server 1, rack server 2, rack server 3, and you have a rack here, and a rack server 1, rack server 2, rack server 3. So this rack server has its own UPS, uninterrupted power supply, and its own switch here, right? And that rack server has its own separate uninterrupted power supply, UPS, or power source and switch. So they're just saying that we're gonna put your instances, some instances we're gonna put here on this fault. This is one fault domain having its own UPS and or power source and network source, and this is another fault domain that has its own network source and power source. So some virtual machines they're gonna put in one fault domain, and your other virtual machines they will put on other fault domain. What they're saying is that we're not going to put all your machines in one fault domain. So if this UPS goes down, the power source goes down, and the whole rack or set of racks are down, at least some of your machines will be affected, but other machines will not be affected. They're going to spread your machines across different fault domains. That's what they're talking about. To control the placement of your compute instances, bare metal DB system instances, or virtual machine DB system instances, you can optionally specify the fault domain for a new instance or instance pool at launch time. If you don't specify the fault domain, the system selects one for you. Okay, anyway, so fault domain is there to spread your machines, and if there is any fault in the background from their side, not all your machines are affected because of that. So parent screen. Okay, so that is just showing one set of fault domains. Well, this is selected already, and so if I select that, choose a fault domain. If we don't choose, they will select for us. So fault domain 1, and we can just choose fault domain 1. And when we go to our image, so we go down to, there's a change image here as well. Oracle Linux 7.9 is there. If you click the change image, so we got everything else, CentOS 6, 7, 8. So since the GCP CentOS 8 had become our favorite one, but do they have Windows? Yes, they have all the Windows as well. Will they let us use that? We're about to know now. So I'm going to go for Windows 2019 standard here, although I would love to go for CentOS 8. Okay, select image here, and Windows 2019 standard, and okay, so your selected shape vm.standard.e2.1.micro is not available in the current availability domain or is incompatible with the current image The shape was reset to vm.standard.2.1. Okay, shape is just a set of hardware that was selected because I selected 2019, which requires more RAM, more CPU and RAM. And okay, so and the processor is Intel 1-core OracleCloud Oracle CPU. Wow, whole CPU, seriously. 15 GB RAM, ouch. Okay, that's a lot of RAM. I mean, that's too much actually. So configuring network, well, we got $400, right? So you can just blow it up here. Login credentials. Configure networking, you want to create a virtual cloud network VCN, which is like VPC, which is like VNet. So, well, it's a default cloud and default subnet. We're gonna work on login credentials. A username and initial password will be generated when you create the instance. They will be available on the details screen for the newly launched instance. You must reset the password when you sign into the instance for the first time. Okay. Configure boot volume. Your boot volume is detachable device that contains the image used to boot your compute instance. So specify a custom boot volume size. You want to go for bigger size. Use in-transit encryption. Encrypts data in transit. In transit is traveling data between the instances, the boot volume and the block volumes. Encrypt this volume. So, well, thing is that you want to create a bigger size boot volume. Otherwise, we don't choose anything. It's gonna create a standard size. Advanced options. Advanced options actually are really advanced options. So it's not just tag. So management instance metadata service. You want to put some more metadata here or data about data. And then Cloud Init. Cloud Init is for Linux packages. Cloud Oracle Agent. You want to monitor. You want monitoring agents from Oracle Cloud. Availability configurations. Restore instance lifecycle state after infrastructure maintenance. So if the maintenance is going on, you want them to restore perfectly your virtual machine. Yes, why not? And if you want to add tags. So that's for management. Then there's networking. You want to go for your own choice of private IP address. Host name. Let Oracle Cloud Infrastructure choose the best networking type. Well, that's better. Otherwise, para-virtualized networking, which is for general purpose workloads such as enterprise applications, microservices, and small databases. And then you want to go for better performance, you go for hardware assisted. So we don't need to choose anything ourselves. Image, we already have gone for. Choose an image. Build. So what is the build you want for 2019? There are 3 builds here. Placement. So you want to go for dedicated host or you want to just go for shared host. Well, shared is okay. So that's it. I'm going to click create or create a stack as well. So you can just, this is kind of a template of the whole thing that all the options that you selected, it saves them, remembers them, and you can create more clones out of that, those options that you selected up there. If you select the create a stack, I'm going to click the create button here and check if the options. So we created instances there in AWS, virtual machines in Azure, and compute engine instances in Google Cloud. Now we're creating that instance here as well. And it still says provisioning. There's and it says create instance in progress, 5%. And there's no local refresh here. 10%. Oh, pretty fast. Not. 20%, yay! So 20% still. One day, Monday or Sunday, it's going to. Wow, it's sliding fast. Can you finish early today? Well, yeah. So yeah, the instance is creating. So yeah, we can hope. I'll let you know if we are having a class tomorrow. Otherwise, we will try to. I will try to have a class tomorrow as well, so we can continue from there. We're gonna create an instance, and we're gonna check all the instances, then networking, storage, networking, databases, right? So I was planning to finish this by this week, but I think it's gonna take one more. And next week, guys, it's gonna be just Fridays. I will be able to do that. Okay, instance is actually created. Succeeded, and well, yeah. So we can just try to. It's gonna take more time, so we can meet tomorrow, but not sure if I'm ready. Sure, I will let you know that we can have a class tomorrow. I will let you know. Otherwise, we're gonna have a class on Friday. So okay, guys. Then till instance creation we reached, and then we can meet tomorrow as well. And I'll just try to go for more actions there. I'll try to stop instance, stopping the instance, and the shutdown command. Yeah, so it says stopping here. Alright, guys, see you hopefully tomorrow, but not sure, right? So I will let you know. And yeah, we can finish it here and meet tomorrow, maybe. Otherwise, Friday. Alright, thank you. Good night. Bye bye. Alright, thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye. I'll click terminate now. Permanently delete the attached terminate instance, and it's now starting to terminate, so that's good. I'll leave it at terminating, so it's going to obviously terminate, and I'll stop the video here.